Last month, we visited the Milwaukee Rep's production of Marie and Rosetta, the true story of two Black gospel singers who pioneered the early sounds of rock and roll. In the 1940s, Sister Rosetta Tharpe was an established gospel singer. She met Marie Knight in 1946, and they started recording together. That sound became the foundation for what was to become known as rock and roll. By the time Knight left the duo in the mid-1950s, neither she nor Tharpe received proper credit for their contributions here at home. But Sister Rosetta did become famous in Europe.
She was the mother, not the godmother, but the mother of rock and roll. She created rock and roll with fusing gospel and blues together with that electric guitar and using a resonator. She created a sound we had never heard before in this country or around the world, because that's what brought so many people from across the pond to America, like the Beatles and folks like that, because of Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
She also helped start the careers of some of the early pioneers of rock and roll. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2018. Members of her family, who had migrated from the South and now live in Milwaukee, are doing their part to ensure that her place in history does not get overlooked.
My name is Effie McGee, and I am related to we call her Aunt Sister Rosetta, as her niece. She and my mom and the other siblings, they had the same daddy. As a matter of fact, my daddy, my granddaddy, had 3 sets of children, three families. So she was from the second set.
Let's do that again.
I used to do little, not skits, but telling about the history of Aunt Sister Rosetta, doing Black history at my church. And then I did it for so long, and then we did for one of our family reunions, we honored her. It was in her honor. We had T-shirts, and the program was about her.
So I'm Rosetta Tharpe's great niece. My grandfather was one of her younger siblings. And as of lately, I've just been making it a point. I want to say I really got on it back in 2021, 2020, that range. And I wanted to bring awareness to her impact.
You know, she was really unique as a guitar player. She had a big influence on somebody like Chuck Berry, who was one of the most influential guitar players in the world.
Didn't it rain, children? Rain, oh yes. Didn't it? Yes, didn't it? You know it did, didn't it? Oh, yes, how it rained. I said it rained, children.
So I published an article, self-published on Medium, called A Black Woman Pioneered Rock and Roll, Sister Rosetta Tharpe and the Retrieval of Her Legacy. And the focus of my article was to just not only bring up her relevance and bring up what she has accomplished, but to also leave a statement that she has family that's here, that's constantly celebrating her, and that's trying to push and keep her legacy alive. And so from there, I went on to one of our other cousins who helped us. We did an interview at a church. Effie was there with me, and Sister Rosetta also has 2 living siblings. So her brother, who went on tour with her and spent, I want to say like a year living with her, he was present for it. So just kind of keeping the family as involved as possible. And then from there, I recently did I interviewed with this documentary, Archives on 4 with the BBC, and it went amazing.
And you're obviously incredibly proud of Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
I think she ultimately chose
her career. She chose the potential of whatever else is out there. It seemed like one of those decisions. Sometimes religion can be a little hindering. So who knows whatever pushback she may have gotten socially to choose to divorce and leave the church and go this direction. But I do think that she made the best decision she could in choosing herself and choosing her own future and legacy.
This train is a clean train. This train.
It was just, again, letting, bringing that awareness to Sister Rosetta, her legacy, and just also kind of having a website, having a point of contact where as these articles and as these opportunities are coming up, just having a hub to keep proclaiming her legacy. Sister Rosetta has made such an amazing impact on music culture. She pioneered, she created rock and roll and just other various subgenres that came from there. And so it's really important to keep that story alive, keep her history alive, and making sure that these future generations, as time passes, that they're also aware of her and her impact. So I just think it's very important to keep that voice going for her.